Good day. I'm Trisha O'Connor. On this community spotlight, we talk about a homeless woman living on the service lane. Let's talk about it. First, everyone, please subscribe, like, and share. We have so much more content, and you definitely do not want to miss it. So, this homeless woman has been living on this service lane for weeks. It is outside of a hospital. That's why you see the ambulance outside, and she's like literally made up a bed, and it was sunny that day, and she put out an umbrella, and she's living there. And it makes you think about the state of homelessness um, in our city, in our nation, everywhere, that someone will feel comfortable to make a place here because they can't find stability uh, in their own home, in the shelter system. Let me just show you a couple more pictures. This is to show you um, how big this street is. That this woman is dangerous. It's actually dangerous. And Department of Homeless Services, they have their initiatives and their outreach to help the homeless. It's up to the homeless person to decide whether they want the services that they're offering them. But some situations, I know they said if the person shows signs of mental illness, then they can do what they have to do, as in the city. Or if the person is in a dangerous situation, this looks like it's a dangerous situation, but it's unfortunate because um, people don't want to go into the shelter system. I mean, no one ever wants to go into the shelter system, but when you look at the shelter system that was created, and I really hope that this administration um, is able to get these things done to help the homeless. I want to share with you the stats of what the daily report is for the homeless in New York City. Um, and these are the numbers. These are the numbers of families, of children, of men and women who are in the shelter system as of September 28th, 2022. And these are high numbers. And then, we also have the migrants coming in. So it's adding to those numbers. But even if, New York City has the mandate to shelter everyone who comes in looking for shelter, even though we have a homeless issue. It makes me think about the shelter system, period, right? And how much money is being spent on the shelter system, and is it working? Is it working? I want to share with you the 2023 stats for the homeless budget. This is the budget that was put out by the Department of Homeless Services in March of 22, and it shows you the budget, the fiscal year 2023, $2.2 billion is for New York City's homeless budget. But why wouldn't someone want to go? Well, let me tell you something. There are three types of shelters that I know of. I've often gone into the shelters to see how I can assist, or even, I'm invited to speak to the homeless women and families in order to assist them in finding, transitional housing. And there are a couple types, right? So there's one with the families, which I'm going to go into another video. But then you have the women shelters, and there are two types of. If you're a single woman, you can, you know um somewhat, I guess, be fortunate enough to get a shelter where you have a room to yourself. It could either be a hotel or almost like a hotel. Sometimes it can have a kitchenette in there, so you have your own private space. But I've also been into the women's shelter where You're walking in. Um, it felt like jail. You're walking through a metal detector. All your things are being searched because certain things you may want to bring in to the shelter with you could be considered contraband, such as if a woman brings in Lysol or bleach to clean the bathroom, they are sharing the bathroom. The rooms where you sleep is like dormitory. There's tons of beds in one room. There would be a locker at the end of the twin bed, and a woman explained to me her life in the shelter. So this particular woman was actually working for the city, but pay was very low and couldn't afford to get housing to rent someplace. So she was living in the shelter, and she said that she would come into the shelter at night. She would go into the cafeteria. She would eat by a certain time, and then she would get ready to go to bed. Going to bed would mean that she would have to lock her shoes and her purse in the locker at the end of her bed. Fear that it could be stolen, sleep in the bed. When she wakes up in the morning and needs to brush her teeth, groom herself, use the bathroom, what she would do is a lot of times you see the shelters have a storage building next door, and um, the city has a high bill with the storage units. We'll do that in a whole nother video as well. And this woman would get up in the morning, get her purse and her shoes out of the locker that's at the end of her twin bed in the shelter, go to the shelter, the storage unit, get her toiletries and her towel and everything, come back through the metal detectors in the shelter, and wait in line to use a shared bathroom. And they're unable to clean it themselves because certain things, as I said, will be considered contraband, and use the bathroom, get dressed in the bathroom, and then package up her toiletries, her towel, her laundry, and go back to the storage unit to store her things, and just continue that cycle every time she needed to take a shower, or just brush her teeth, or do anything within the shelter system. And that's stressful. It's stressful. When I got a tour and I saw it, I really I felt for the women who have to live through there. And that particular one, I've never been into the men's. I heard the men's was, I'll bring someone up to talk about the men's shelter, and how that is. I've been into the family shelter, which we'll talk about in another video. But this just makes you think about, you know, what this woman is thinking. What is she experiencing? Her safety, of standing, of laying and sleeping, and resting, and just being outside, on this service lane, and living there, and the state of homelessness in our city. Once again, please subscribe, like, and share. This is community spotlight. If you have something you want to spotlight within your community, please do not hesitate to contact. Peace.